here we have my cascading, well, my larger cascading juniper. I do have a smaller one that's in a smaller pot that I need to work on. That one hasn't been touched since it was potted almost, well, over a year ago. This had to be repotted last summer because it fell out of its pot. It didn't skip a beat on that. I was worried because it fell out of its pot. The soil fell out of the pot. The roots got exposed to the sun. I was worried that it would affect the tree. And what I had done is I just figured couldn't hurt it. I soaked the roots in some water for the evening, and then I threw it back in its pot. I figured it would have a chance of soaking up whatever water it needed being sat out in the sun with its roots exposed. It didn't skip a beat, but it didn't get pruned last summer, but it did get pruned it got a major prune this spring, and early in the spring. And as you can see, it has come out very nicely for way out. It needs probably some more wiring, and I do see a few things I'm going to probably cut off that I'm not liking. Like this, I'm not sure about. I don't know, maybe I kind of need something in the back, but I think it needs to come down. It either needs to come off or come down because it sticks up above this stuff. And I think maybe if I bring it down and use it as a back branch, it will work better. I don't know about this. I'm thinking this might go. I just don't. It's spindly. I don't think it lends well to the design of the tree. I think maybe if I bring this down and over, this will be back further and it'll take that place. I don't know, I just don't like this one. We need to clean up a few things here. I still have to get some lime sulfur to preserve this and put on the what we made the dead wood out of in the spring, which you can see. Won't be able to see out here, but it's healing up around where it was ripped back. So I just ripped it back because some people cut it around the edge so you get a cleaner thing, and there's also the way of just pulling the bark back, and I agree with it. It'll give it a more natural look because it wouldn't fall off around in a nice cut area anyways, so ripping it back would give it a little more of a natural feel and let it rip down some. So I'm not sure. This might come up a little. I'm not sure. We'll think about that. I think these two might go, and then this might come out. This definitely needs to be wired. It's just sticking out too far. And then everything needs to just be trimmed up a little bit. So let's get started. First, we are going to think about these two branches. I think pulling this one over and down and have it as a back, because you need a back branch for depth. And I think this one I don't know. I'm still thinking that one is the candidate to go. I just think it's too cluttered here. I think this pad and this pad are nice. And then there's a pad here. This might go because I don't think we need this here. It's kind of just coming out. I don't know why I kept that in the first place. This, yeah, that's definitely gonna go. So that's gonna go. That's going. I still think this would look better without that. So pull this down, put this in the back, so you can see it a little bit, but it's not. Yeah, we're going for it. We're just gonna cut that off. Yeah, I think that looks better. And then, like I said, bring this down. So we'll get some wire to do that. I'm trying to decide if this needs any. Yeah, I think I want to wire it, so we're gonna make it off this branch here. I want that pad to come a little over that. So that should do. The excess wire off. And then this one's coming down. I think. See what that looks like. No, I think that's too high. Yeah, that back branch needs to come down further. Needs to come quite down and then back up a little bit. The branch is down good, but the foliage is too high now. Should wrap that around again. Let me cut this excess wire off. It's out of the way. Bring this up. And we need to bring this back some more. Needs to be more of a back branch. Not too much. And of course, the stuff will look a little different as I trim it back. I like that better, I think, because it gives it some depth now. Yeah, it gives it some depth. I think that'll work. Okay. Next, we want to look at the cascade. Let's see if I need to. Okay, let's decide if we want to remove anything that's out here. This branch, I don't know why I kept. This branch is weak, anyways. I don't see this branch being very good. It's too close to this branch, anyways. We're keeping both of them, anyways. And it's, like I said, it's weak. Not very strong. Trying to decide if I want to keep this branch and wire it back. Keep this one. I think I'm going to keep this one. Has a nice flow. It comes a little bit off the front, but it's got a nice flow. So we're going to remove that one. I think I want to develop this branch and keep it, so I will wire it down a little bit. It needs a lot of development though. So there's that. And I think I want to wire this down a little bit and bring this down. I do want this. I mean, it is pretty down. Maybe not. I think it is pretty good where it is. Now that I look at it, maybe just bring the end of it up a little bit. Will look better. So we got. Now that other branch is in a good place. So I don't need to wire that. So we just need some wire to wire the end and the two other branches. Now, I'm not going to run a wire to another branch here. Oh, I'm going to get rid of this stuff too. I don't need this stuff. And just remove all these old dead needles. Better. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of wire and run it down the end. Because we're not looking to reshape. I like the shape of this. I just want this to help bring the end just a little different position. So. See how that looks. Got a little too nose up. Come down just a little bit. And we're going to clip a little bit of that off. So I don't really need to add any more length to this anymore. I think we're at a good length. Okay, so let's just off the excess wire. Now we need to wire the two top branches. And I will just these will be anchored together. Okay, just gonna clean out some stuff that's not doing good and it's kind of in the way. Just that tip. These two really need some development. They're not in the best places. This one we're going to bring back a little bit and then bring it down a little bit. Bring that back a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. This one we need to just bring down a little bit. The top one may go eventually, I don't know. I'm not sure when I think about it. But I'm always willing to wait and see what comes of something. Okay, now we've got to look at this. I don't know if I need to wire this in. Let's see what it looks like. I kind of like it coming down, so I think I'll leave it that way. Now we come to trim. I'm going to start just by getting the underneath of each pad cleaned up. This branch can go kind of from way inside. Doesn't really do anything where it is. And what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of scraping off some dead needles and stuff. Oh, kind of clean things up. Let's go and do this. I can go. Now this one, this pad, I'm trying to decide if I want to keep this stuff. It's not in good shape. I'm trying to decide if it would be better without it. I think it would. It would open this. It would define these two areas a little more. So, and show the branch. Now, granted, we took a little bit of the top out, but it will grow back in. It will grow back in. Yeah, I think that'll, once that develops in, that'll define those two a little better. Alright, so the needles will eventually, on the branches, eventually die out like that, further back. And let's see what we can do on this one. Kind of growing. This one. That off. And if you notice, what we're trying to do right now is just kind of find the underneath of the pads, because you want more of a flat kind of cloud look to the pad, so you want the bottoms kind of flat looking. So that's why you cut all the stuff growing down off. Try to see there's dead stuff out of here again. It's probably easier with my fingers. Okay, definitely some more stuff can go here. Give this more of a flat cloud-like bottom. Check back here. Okay, so lower branch. Go. I'll get rid of that branch. I don't think it disturbs or anything. Got a little bud growing here. I'm going to keep it just in case. I may try to grow it. May work if it grows out. It may work as another back branch just to fill the area in here to give some more depth. Bring it down. We'll see. We don't know. I don't know if I'll keep it or not. But right now, it doesn't hurt to leave it. Get stuff out again. Okay, on here, look at the sun. I got a branch just growing up in the middle. It's not getting a lot of light, so I'm just going to cut that out. Get rid of it. Now I'm just going to, on this one, I'm going to check for anything. It's growing on the inside. It's going to grow good. It's not where it needs to be. A couple branches here. Go. Yeah. We get rid of that weed. Okay. Let's go back to getting the bottoms. This is on the bottom. Don't need it. Throw that out. It's got nothing on the bottom. That was dead. Let's begin going out, down. Going down. These are not growing great. Just gonna remove those because they're not growing that great. Got a nice pad out there. And then we'll get this pad. There we go. Now, that should give us, yeah, gives us a good look on the bottom of everything. And that's the wire. So now I'll just do some trimming out of some inside branches and then give stuff a trim. So this is kind of just the branching here. It's growing inwards. Yeah, I'll go around each pad, and first I'll clean out inward branches, inward facing and crossing branches, and then we'll trim back some stuff. Or dead stuff. There's some dead stuff in here in places too. You don't want everything crowded in here. Some of these I actually just trimmed off instead of actually removing them altogether. But it's the basic idea of what I'm doing. Okay, these are lower down. They're not doing good. They're not going to do good. They're not getting enough light. This is just too many branches in here in places. A lot of these have grown in since I last clipped. So. Okay, there we go. I think I got everything. Give some a little bit of room in there. What some of this does also, it doesn't just give more room for them to grow, it gives them more room to get light. So a lot of this more inner stuff will die off without light. So give it some light, it should do better. I will probably speed this up because you don't want me to sit here and do the same thing over and over. I will speed it up and we'll little closer to show you exactly what I'm doing. I don't know how close I can get in. We'll do that little pad there. I can move the camera probably just a little bit. I know there's a limit in this lens, how close I can get. I think it's about as close as I can get and stay in focus. So, basically all I'm doing, so you can see the new tips here versus back here where I've cut. I'm just kind of getting in there and cutting between. Some of them I cutting way back, some of them just more or less cutting off the tip to promote division and backbutting. Well, backbutting so it'll divide. But if I keep them, they'll probably just grow out more, and I'd rather have some ramification right now than length. A lot of these don't need length. Like this one I didn't touch up above it because it didn't really have too many growing tips. I'm hoping it'll start backbutting. That branch is not in the greatest shape. The little one above this one. But if I top all these ends, hopefully it will backbud and get more ramification. Now, this one I need to also thin out some. There's just too many branches all in here. Like this one. This one's all in the. This one's way in the center. It's not. And then you want to try to get between the needles, because if you cut the needles, they'll brown, and it won't look as great. And it's also why you use scissors instead of. You could pinch these by hand, which I have done in the past, but a lot of times you can't take with like you can with a pair of scissors with a really fine. You also want ones with a really fine pair of scissors with nice sharp tips. My old ones, these are newer ones because my old ones from years ago I dropped. If you drop these, you usually will lose the tips, and they're not useful as much without nice sharp tips. But you want to get between the needles if you can, so you don't have browning and it looks better. It'll look better long term. Keep those. Move this one. Like I said, just moving some of them in the center, just to get the inside uncongested. You don't want to. We're looking for ramification, but we're looking for it further out, not way in there, like some places in here have. And again, we're gonna move a few of these branches. You can get before it's growing below. So that pad looks pretty good. Like I said, we just want to remove the new growing tips so it'll encourage backbudding. Some places I didn't, just because I want those branches to grow out more. So if you want them to grow out more, you don't need to cut them back. Guess I'll show you this last one here too. Now this one I need to actually find where I want to cut the tip off. I've let this grow. This has never been clipped off the end. The end of it has grown since I've got it. So there, it'll grow another tip. It'll grow out more. Now I'm just going to go through, and I don't think I've ever, I don't think in the spring when I did this, I had just let the end grow out a lot, keep growing. I didn't really do much because there's a lot of long, leggy growth in here. So I'm assuming I didn't really touch the tip. So that's got to come back a little bit. So you don't want the really long, leggy growth. So, as you can see, a little thinner, but not really like as sparse as last time. It'll grow in over the next couple months, which is what we wanted to do. We wanted to bring it back, make it compact, keep it compact, and let it grow out again. And I think all these pads they still need to be a little wider. Like I said, this little bud back here hopefully will grow out and we can pull it down and have a little more. There's a hole back here that we don't really need. It would be nice to have something back there for depth, because you have back branches for depth to give depth to the tree. And then, like I said, still got to get some. This will look better once it's white. It's kind of blending in with the rest of the thing. Get the lime sulfur on there, and it will whiten up nicely. It'll look really nice. So, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you next time.